Okay, hello everybody. Good morning, all of you. Okay, we'll start with today's quote. It is by Buddha. So, 7 steps to happiness, he says. Beautiful. Each one is uh, a jewel. So, even if you follow one, you will be happy. So, it is think less, feel more, frown less, smile more, talk less, listen more, judge less, accept more, watch less, do more, complain less and appreciate more, fear less and love more. Okay, so beautiful quotation. I liked it very much. But each one, though maybe saying is easy, but following is by practice only you will get it. Okay, then today is the birthday of Golwati Gurney. He's a prolific English inventor who built technically successful steam carriages a half century before the advent of the gasoline powered automobile. His carriage successfully traveled between London and Bath and at an average speed of 15 miles per hour. So he built several more and opened a passenger service. However, powerful opposition from horse coach companies ensured that they were soon taxed out of existence. So many times, whenever there is an invention or a new thing comes into thing, and it's very difficult to put into the society because there will be a lot of opposition. Whenever somebody gets some help, some other people get some problem, right? So these horse coaches, because they lose their business, so they have seen that his business is out. And another of his, and not only that, he has made other inventions. Another of his inventions was the Bude light, which lit the House of Commons for 60 years. It was a standard oil lamp with oxygen gas introduced into the middle of the flame. The unburnt carbon in the oil flame burned with an intense white light instead of weak yellow flame of the oil lamp. And he introduced the use of limelight to lighthouses. So many other inventions he has to his credit. Okay, today we will continue the hyperbolic solvers, and today we will have the multi-step methods. And before going to that, just we'll revise what we have done in the last class. So we have seen the hyperbolic solver, the model equation, and we have seen what are the first we have seen applications and limitations of non-Newman stability analysis. So we have seen that boundary conditions will not have effect on it, and they are applied only for linear equations, and it can be applied to multidimensional problems also. And so we have seen if it is 2D problem or 3D problem. So instead of d less than or equal to half, 1 by 4, 1 by 6, like that will come be 2D and 3D. And similarly, current number when c is less than or equal to for 1D, for 2D it will be 1 by 2, and for 3D it will be 1 by 3. And so there is another Reynolds number also will come into picture when you have both convection and diffusion terms into the same equation. So there will be three conditions usually: diffusion number less than or equal to half, and current number less than or equal to 1, and Reynolds number less than or equal to 2 by c. So those things we have discussed, and then we have seen what is the model equation for hyperbolic solver, mainly the wave equation ut plus a ux equal to 0, which is first order wave equation, and second order wave equation is utt is equal to a square uxx. And we have seen what are the various applications that you get also. And then we seen what are the various schemes. So first Euler's FTFS explicit method. So Euler has tried with this, which is first order accuracy in time and space, but it is found to be unconditionally unstable. And then FTCS explicit method it came, so which is of first order in time and second order in space, but this is also found to be unconditionally unstable because the flow is a equal to 0, a is greater than 0, the flow is from left to right. So the values at a point depends on the value ahead of it. So then people tried for upwinding. Okay, this is forward time, backward space. Then this has worked. So which is first order in time and first order in space. but it is conditionally stable, where the condition is c less than or equal to 1. And then Lax's explicit method, he wanted to use FTCS method, which is second order in space accuracy. So what he has done is he has taken UIN as the average of its neighbors, UI plus 1n plus UI minus 1n by 2, like that. Then people tried with central time, central space midpoint leapfrog explicit method, which is second order in time and second order in space. And it is found to be again conditionally stable. But the problem is this is not a self starter. And it needs more space. And also it needs another scheme to start it, which influences the accuracy of the CTCS scheme itself. Then we have seen one-step Lax-Van-Troff explicit method. So the advantage of this is accurate second order in time and second order in space. But again, this is also conditionally stable because it is explicit, c less than or equal to 1. Then coming to implicit methods, we have BTBS upwind implicit method, which is first order in time and first order in space. And this is like any implicit method, unconditionally stable. BTCS also, it is unconditionally stable, backward time, central space, first order in time and second order in space. And coming to Crank-Nicholson method, which is second order in time and second order in space, which in all these implicit methods, we are going to get tridiagonal matrix to be solved. Okay, so these are the various methods we have discussed in the last class. And if I go for multidimensional problems, again, the same things what we have discussed in the parabolic solvers, the same problems will come. Okay, so suppose go to this. If I go to multidimensional hyperbolic solvers and the model equation equal to ut, so instead of plus AUX, and so I will have another one also, or like this. So it is two-dimensional, and you will have AUZ also if it is 3D. And so if I go for explicit methods, so the condition for stability will be C less than or equal to half, because Cx plus Cy less than or equal to 1 I will get. So if dx equal to dy or delta x equal to delta y, then Cx is equal to Cy equal to C. So C less than or equal to half we will get. So if it is 3D, I'm going to get C less than or equal to 1 by 3. So again, this is the problem on the time step, the condition for time step. And because of that, if we go for implicit method, so like either BTBS or BTCS, Crank-Nicholson. So this is order of delta t and delta x whole square, and this is order of delta t whole square and delta x whole square, right? So if I go for, and okay, so one more will be there, delta y whole square. So if I take a 2D case, so what is the problem we get? 2D implicit. Anybody? So what is the problem with 2D implicit method?
Storage problem, sir, because too many variables are there.
So we will have pentadiagonal matrix. So if I have 3D, again pentadiagonal matrix. Okay, 1D anyhow, 3D again. Tridiagonal matrix algorithm I have to use. So again, because of these things, normally BTCS and Crank-Nicholson are not preferred. So what is the alternative? What is that we have done? What are the alternative schemes we have discussed for parabolic? Anybody? Instead of solving a pentadiagonal matrix once, so what we have done is we have split it into 2 times solving a tridiagonal matrix. And what are the methods we have used? ADI and fractional step method. So ADI, which is also called as approximate factorization of Crank-Nicholson method. Okay, so here for 2D, TDMA is to be solved twice, and 3D, TDMA is to be solved thrice. So like that. So we have to split it into time steps. So fractional step also in the same way. 2D, TDMA twice, 3D, TDMA thrice. So we have split the time into 2 half time steps or 3 1/3 time steps. So these are called as splitting methods. These are called as splitting methods. Okay, that's what I have shown in the next thing. Okay, splitting methods for multidimensional problems. Okay, so the methods thus far are simple, previous ones, and extending these methods to multidimensional or nonlinear problems may create some difficulties. The implicit formulation of a multidimensional problem results in a large number of algebraic equations with a coefficient matrix that is pentadiagonal or larger or heptadiagonal. And solving such a system requires extensive amount of computer time. Therefore, methods such as ADI, which split the multidimensional problem into a series of equations with tridiagonal coefficients, are preferred. Okay, so either fractional step or this we prefer. This is for multidimensional problems. And there are multi-step methods with our predictor corrector methods, and mainly these are preferred for nonlinear problems, but they can be used for linear problems also. These are called multi-step methods or predictor corrector methods. Okay, so mainly the second problem is to address you have to understand the difference. You should not get confused for splitting method and multi-step method. Splitting methods are used for multidimensional problems, and there are also multi-steps are there, but they are called as splitting methods, and these are called as multi-step methods. These are mainly meant for nonlinear problems. Okay, so some of the methods presented for linear equations are not well suited for the solution of nonlinear problems. So multi-step methods which use the finite difference equation, again here also splitting of time levels will be there. And splitting of time levels work well when applied to nonlinear hyperbolic equations. Some of these methods introduced in this section are the application of linear model equation, or else first we applied for linear equation and then to nonlinear equation. So these methods are referred to as predictor corrector methods as well. In the first step, A temporary value for the dependent variable is predicted, and subsequently in the second step, a corrected value is computed. Okay, so that is the way we do it. So there are various methods. Mainly devised for nonlinear problems. What can be applied to linear problems also. And usually the order of accuracy delta t whole square, second order in time and second order in space. And stability, these are all mostly explicit only we will discuss. C less than or equal to 1. And there are some exceptions like which we discuss next, Richtmeier method, which is condition for stability C less than or equal to 2. Okay, so we will see these multi-step methods. So some what methods?
So multi-step means basically they will collect information from not only last point but previous points, right? That's the definition of multi-step, right? Linear, like single step means it will use only the previous point to calculate the next point.
No, it is not like that. It can take any number of points. Again, there will be central difference, forward difference, and all.
Hmm.
So only thing is the time is split into two half time steps, and in the first half time step we predict it, and in the second half time step we correct it. Okay, we will see when you see the.
Okay.
So one is Richtmeier method. Lax-Wendorf, but here this is Lax-Wendorf two-step method. We have discussed one-step method, and now two-step method. Next, McCormack method. Next, beam-warming method. So if you go to literature, there are many more methods are there. There are so many methods devised by so many people, but we just stick to some simple methods, okay, which are limited to our books, whatever we are referring. Okay, there are actually one more book, as I told, three-author book, which is by Fletcher, Tannehill, and Anderson. Okay, this Anderson is different. He is D.A. Anderson, and our Anderson is J.D. Anderson. Okay, so this is one book. So where more number of methods are referred. Okay, but in the Hoffman and Anderson, we discuss these methods, and these four methods in Hoffman, they are demonstrated with an example how they work. So we stick to these four methods. Okay, coming to Richtmeier method. So here this is a two-time level method, and predictor step we use lax method at point I and time level n. So two half time steps are there. So in the lax method, so what I have to do uin plus half minus uin by delta t by 2, and here central difference will be there at n. So when I do that this is FTCS like thing, and in the lax method this is written uin as the average of its neighboring points uin plus 1, ui plus 1n plus ui minus 1n. Okay, this is again, this is like explicit only. This is the only one which is unknown. So I can write all the taking all the things to the right side except ui n plus 1 half. Okay, this is one step where I have a predictor. And in the next step, in the correct step, we use midpoint leapfrog method at point I and time level n plus half. So at n plus half, I take central time, central space. So what happens? Ui n plus 1 minus ui n by delta t. Though this looks like forward or backward difference, this is central difference at n plus half, like Crank-Nicolson. Okay. So this is ui n plus 1 minus ui n by delta t is equal to, so minus AUX, central space. So here, because I am writing at I, so it will be I plus 1 and I minus 1. But the recent values that are known is at n plus half. So I use those values. Okay, this is the corrector step. Here also I can write it like explicit ui n plus 1 is equal to take all the things to the right side. I am going to get the corrector. Okay. So after these two steps, I am going to get the new values at n plus 1. Okay, so that is the way we do the predictor corrector methods. And its stability condition, this is only exception, right? Every explicit method c less than or equal to 1, but this has c less than or equal to 2. Okay, so this is Richtmeier method. The same method is used by Lax and Van Droff, two-step method. So where they have done, instead of taking at I, they have taken at I plus half point. Okay, we will go see that. So this is also two-time level method. Predictor step, here also lax method is taken, but at point I plus half. So instead of taking at I, it is taken to be I plus half here. And here, average of the values at the neighboring values. For I plus half, the neighboring values are I plus 1 and I. It is taken the average like this. Okay, and this is central difference, like the lax method only. Okay, everything is like lax method, but it is taken to be at I plus half. And then the corrector step again midpoint leapfrog method only, similar to what we got here. But instead of writing I here, we write I plus half here. Okay, so because the known values are at I plus half, ui plus half minus ui minus half by delta x. This is also central difference only. Okay, so this is the way we write the Lax-Van Droff method. And okay, here I have to write Lax-Van Droff two-step method. Okay, so its stability condition is c less than or equal to 1. And here, actually in both the cases, if I substitute ui n plus half here and ui minus 1 n plus half also I can get, and if I substitute here, this is going to be just like single step multi-step method, single step Lax-Van Droff only. But this is done in two steps, and that is done in single step. Okay, and so mainly these are suitable for nonlinear equations. And the another method, this is very popular method, and actually Anderson, the author which we are following, he loves this method very much. If you see after seventh chapter, he has solved many problems, and in all the problems he preferred McCormack method only. Okay, the main advantage of McCormack method we will see here. This is also a two-time level method, and predictor step uses forward differencing method obtaining a temporary value for the dependent variable at advanced level, and the corrector step uses backward differencing. In the predictor, it uses forward differencing. In the corrector, it uses backward differencing. And here, this he takes an intermediate time, some star. Okay, so this is ui star minus ui n by delta t. This is like forward difference in time. And here he takes forward difference in space also. Okay, ui plus 1n minus ui n by delta x. So this is forward difference in space I am taking in the predictor. And this is also written like explicit method. Only unknown is ui star, and take all the things to the right side. I am going to get ui star is equal to this. And in the corrector step, again it is like ui n plus half minus ui n plus half, ui n plus 1 minus ui n plus half by delta t by 2. This is again forward time. And here backward space is taken, ui minus 1. And the recent values that are known is at star. Okay, star values are used here by delta x. And here, what is this ui n plus half? This ui n plus half is taken to be average of uin and ui star. Okay, so if this can be substituted here, I can write this in explicit form. Okay, there are two steps. One is ui star here, and another is ui n plus 1 here. Okay, this is the way it is solved. So the main advantage is, because we don't know the flow is this way or this way. Okay, sometimes if there is a separation, at some points the flow in the forward direction, at some points there will be flow in the negative direction. If there is a separation, if there is an eddy, right, such places the flow can be in the forward or backward direction. So if it is only in one direction, we can say, if it is left to right, I have to take backward difference. If it is right to left, I have to take forward difference. But if I don't know how will it be, so it is better to take this particular method. So this particular method is suitable for whatever type of flow it is, whether there are eddies are there or separation is there or any type of movement, it doesn't matter. But McCormack method works very well. So as I told, because of this, many times this particular method is highly used. So
Sir,
yes.
sir, that ui star we are defining it as a function of like ui plus one n, right? And uin.
So ui star is some intermediate value. We don't know exactly, but ui n plus half is taken to be average of ui n and ui star.
I mean, for calculating ui star, we need ui plus one n, right?
No, no, no. For ui star, this is the right. This is the predictor step.
Hmm.
Ui star is equal to, this is the equation.
Uh,
I
like
need
we.
only old values.
Hmm. Okay, okay.
It is explicit only. All old values only are used here. I calculate at ui star, some intermediate time.
Okay, we don't know that amount actually.
We don't know. But it is taken to be ui n plus half, that is n plus half time is to be as average of ui n and ui star.
Okay, sir.
So at this point here, ui n plus half, we substitute this. And ui star is already calculated in the first step. So ui star is to be substituted wherever stars are there. Is it okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So this again, this is conditionally stable, c less than or equal to 1, and it is best suited for nonlinear equations and widely used. The order of differencing can be reversed in each time step. Okay. This also, I have taken forward difference here in the predictor and in the corrector backward difference. And in the next time step, if you want, you can reverse it. Okay. Backward difference here and forward difference here.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the character step, can't we directly write uin plus 1 minus uin? Why should we write uin plus 1 by 2? Like, what advantage will it give?
See, people try with various things, and McCormack has tried like this. Okay, you can try with that, and you can put your name for the scheme. Okay, you can see
Okay.
whether it works or not. Okay, so his logic says it works this way, and he tried. Like as I told, Eilers FT, FS, FTCS, he tried. He thought it will work, but they didn't work. Okay, so people have tried many ways, and some schemes work and some schemes don't work. And whichever work, they will become popular. And there will be competition also, and depends on the application, some schemes work. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I can write UI star here, okay, instead of UI n plus half. Normally, that's what we try to do it. But he has taken UI n plus half, and UI n plus half he has taken as UI n plus UI star by 2. Okay, so that is the way he has taken, and it worked. Is it okay? So for nonlinear problems, this scheme gives the best result, and for linear problems, this is equivalent to Lax-Van Troff scheme. Okay, these are and one more method we will discuss. Okay, that we discuss in nonlinear problems. Okay, these three methods are discussed for linear problems. And okay, he has taken one application problem. Okay, so dou u by dou t equal to minus a dou u by dou x. This is the model equation. And initial condition, it is taken like this. There is a wave. Okay, there is a wave here like this. And where u of x0, this is u and this is x. And u is 0 from 0 to 50. Okay, so 0 to 50, u is 0. And 50 to 110. Okay, so it varies as a sine wave. The velocity varies like a sine wave. U of x0 is equal to 100 sine pi x minus 50 by 60. And again, it is 0 from here to here. Okay, this is like a tube-like thing. And there I have a wave in between. Okay, so that is some disturbance is created in the tube at a particular range of values of x, 50 to 110, and I have a wave like this. And so this is traveling based on this particular equation, dou u by dou t equal to minus a dou u by dou x. So if it is traveling in time, in the space, and after each time step or after some few seconds, where will be the wave I want to find out. Okay, so that is the one it is to be. And where a is the speed of sound, it's selected to be 250 meter per second. Assume that at time t equal to 0, the disturbance is a half sinusoidal shape has been generated. And this is the initial condition. And according to the initial condition, this is the wave. So the boundary conditions are here also, here u is 0 and here u is 0. Okay, that is boundary condition. In between, this wave is moving with velocity 250 meter per second. Okay, so this is to be solved with different methods. So first upwind differencing explicit technique is used. So uin plus 1 minus uin by delta t is equal to ui minus 1 n by delta x. So a delta t by delta x is written as current number. So this is the way we got. Okay, so this so here the length is taken to be 0 to 400, and you can divide this into number of steps, number of grid points you can choose. Okay, so that is the way I have to do, and with different current numbers it is solved. Okay, delta x is 5 fixed. So delta x 5 means how many new nodes will be there? It is length is 400. So 400 by 5. So 81 points will be there. Okay, so that is the way I have to do. And with different time steps, I will have different current numbers. So it is actually calculated. If we c equal to 1, I will get exactly the wave moving, right? So without any much error. But if I take different other time steps where c equal to 0.5, c equal to 0.25, so there will be some error generated. Okay, so we will see how it comes. For c equal to 1, solution of first order wave equation by the explicit first upwind differencing technique. So this particular wave at initially at 0, so this is getting moved. Okay, so this moves. This is time. Okay, so as time progress, this wave is moved like this to this point. Okay, so this is the solution. And if I take another time step, c equal to 0.25, okay, the solution of the first order wave equation, it comes like this. Okay, this is getting distorted this way. And here, why this is happening? This is what is called as whenever if it is like this, after some time steps, this is going to be like this. This is going to be rounded off like this. This type of error is called as dissipation error or diffusive error. Okay, why it is coming like this? Mainly for first order accurate schemes, the truncation error will have uh, dou square u by dou x square term. Okay, some delta x whole square into dou square u by dou x square term will be there. Okay, there will be some more coefficient may be there, but there will be uxx into something will be there, right? And this, I am taking an equation ut plus aux equal to 0, and I am discretizing it, and I am neglecting terms of this sort in the finite difference equation. So what its meaning is, I have some uxx term deleted. Okay, so means I am a negative term of that I am adding here, plus something into uxx I am adding here. So it is something like I am solving at plus aux is equal to some uxx. This is what I am solving instead of solving this. And how this term acts, this is like a viscous term, right? This coefficient is called as artificial viscosity. So I am introducing some artificial viscosity into the physics of the solution. I am not solving this, I am solving this. Am I clear what I am telling?
Sir, like I understood till the absence of UX term. So we are just putting the
Actually, I have ux written in finite difference form, right? When I am writing in finite difference form, suppose here I have, okay, actually I am going to do the error analysis later. Okay, if I take forward time, backward space, uin plus 1 minus uin by delta t plus a uin minus ui minus 1 n by delta x. Okay, so this is the way I am doing it for upward differencing. So this ui minus 1 n means actually ui x n plus like this, isn't it? And actually I am putting this term here means I am putting this term here. Am I clear?
yes, sir.
So this whole term is to be kept here. And if I keep this whole term here, this term which I am neglecting, it is like adding here. So I'm adding this particular thing to that.
Sir, once can you repeat, sir?
Yes?
Once can you
And
repeat?
but that was neglected, no, sir. We write it as order of.
Yeah. I am taking away something means I am taking away something from your pocket means I am adding some negative thing to that, right?
Right, sir.
So this is like adding some term to this particular equal. Instead of solving this ut plus aux, I am solving something into uxx also. Okay, I will do that. Okay, I will do. Whenever I take a first order accurate scheme, I am going to, I am neglecting a second order term in that equation, which acts like an artificial viscosity. Okay, so that you remember now. We will do the error analysis later. Is it clear? So because of that, so there will, whenever there is a sharp gradient in the flow, and what does viscosity do? It will try to diffuse it and it will try to make it uniform. So because of that, whenever there is sharp gradient here, Here there is a sharp variation. It tries to diffuse it. Viscosity, what will it do? It will try to round the sharp corners. Okay, if I have a step wave like this, okay, this is the wave if it is moving. After time, some time step, what is going to happen is it will become like this. Okay, so I have started with a step wave, and gradually as it moves, with time, the sharp corners gets rounded off. So this is dissipation error or diffusion error due to artificial viscosity introduced in the finite difference scheme. With truncation. So this is what is going to happen.
Sir,
Yes.
this is only like this is also called as numerical diffusion, right?
Numerical diffusion only.
This is only numerical diffusion.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Numerical dissipation or numerical diffusion, it is because of artificial viscosity, which we are introducing into the scheme unknowingly. Sometimes we introduce it knowingly also whenever there is an oscillation like instability. So we try to
amp it out.
suppress that and we try to introduce numerical diffusion or dissipation by particularly intentionally introducing into that. That we will discuss again in maybe next class or next class. That is called as damping, numerical damping.
Not only for finite difference scheme, for finite volume scheme also this is
Yeah,
applicable.
yeah. Both are same,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Finite difference, finite volume.
It's about discretizing the space, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. So due to discretization, we are having a truncation error. And that truncation error, if it has a second order derivative in the truncation error as the main term, that introduces artificial viscosity. The coefficient of that introduces artificial viscosity. And any oscillations or sharp gradients gets smoothened out. Okay, this is also called as smearing. Okay, if I have a shock, I will not get the shock exactly if I have numerical dissipation. Instead of getting a sharp shock, I'm going to get a diffusive shock, smeared shock. This is called as smeared shock. So instead of having the shock in only one or two grid points, it spreads to the neighboring grid points also, and I'm going to get the shock like this instead of like this. Am I clear?
Sir.
Okay, this is called as dissipation error. Okay, because of that, it gets rounded off. So initially, okay, this is actually time coming like this. The initial wave somewhere like this, and as time progress, it becomes like this. So you can see here, with c equal to 1, I am getting a perfect uh, exact solution. It matches with the exact solution. And as the current number decrease, so I have more dissipation and more rounded off of the corners like this. And similarly, if I take first order upwind differencing implicit technique, previously explicit we have taken, in implicit if I take, so here with the here there is more diffusion compared to explicit method. Okay, it is found like that. And if I take okay, so you can see more diffusion, right? So as diffusion, what happens, the amplitude of the wave decreases and it gets rounded off in the sharp edges. And Lax-Ventroff technique if I take, so again for c equal to 1 it's coming perfect. And when c equal to 0.25, here there are some oscillations created here. Okay, so whenever there is a sharp gradient, there if oscillations come, that type of error is called as dispersion error. So instead of if here, here, or here, if some waves come like this, so this is called as dispersion error. And if I have something like this, so this is going to become something like this. At the sharp corners, you will have oscillations in this way. So this is also dispersion error. So dispersion error, this is due to third order derivative. Uh, Derivative term in truncation error. Okay, mainly, okay, it's there also second order term will be there and third order term will be there, but this should be the dominating term. Okay. As dominant error. So previously also, so introduced in the finite difference given the truncation error. Okay. So if dominant error is having second order derivative, this is dissipation error. Dominant error is third order derivative. Okay. This introduces dispersion error, which introduces oscillations oscillations at sharp gradients. So here, so dispersion error if dispersion error is large, the oscillations may be so large that its quantity may be more than the real quantity. So suppose if I have something like this, if the oscillation is so large, okay, so I will have the complete off values. So dispersion error is very dangerous, right? If oscillations if too large, I'm losing the actual value, right? So sometimes if dissipation so if dispersion is too large, we have to dampen the oscillations to capture the physics. This is done by introducing artificial damping. I have to introduce artificial damping into that or the viscosity like that. So many times what we do is this artificial damping, we introduce it by adding fourth order derivative. Okay, something into delta x is delta x whole square uxxx. Okay, some constant into some epsilon into this. Okay, this type of term will be added into that delta x power 4. Okay, so here I am adding some other term into that, but actually there is nothing to worry about it, because this delta x power 4 means it is very, very, very small term. I'm adding it, but this introduces artificial damping, and those oscillations will die out after some time. Okay, so is it clear what I'm telling? So we will discuss it further, right? We will use that artificial damping in the equation. So here, if you can see, okay, this is the dispersion error introduced. And so here also you can see, right, if t equal to 0.5 with Lax-Van-Troff scheme, which is also second order in space. So that's why there is a dispersion error here. And BTCS implicit technique. So this is first order. Okay, here also artificial damping only is there. But the damping is too high, right? Sorry, this dissipation error is too high here. Okay, this is a comparison of solution of the wave equation by BTCS implicit method for various coherent numbers. For different coherent numbers, how this comes, okay, the solution. So this is the exact solution. And for C equal to 2.5, I will have the largest error, okay. So like this, I will have various errors. So you can see which error is large. Actually, C is equal to 2.5 is the square. This is the largest damping I have. Okay, so like that. So C equal to 2.5 means I am taking very large delta t. Okay, because it is stable. Sometimes, many times what we do is, because it is stable, I can take large delta t, but large delta t increases the dissipation error, and it will, so this is amplitude is reduced very much, and it is spreading to the neighboring points. Okay, so because of the dissipation. Okay, splitting methods versus multi-step method. That's whatever I had discussed. So we have to understand the difference between that. Splitting methods are used for multi-dimensional methods only. So ADA method and fractional step method are called as splitting methods. And multi-step methods, they are mainly meant for nonlinear methods, but they can be used for linear methods also. But mainly these are devised for solving nonlinear problems. Okay, so that is the difference we can remember. So later we will see the application of this multi-step method for the nonlinear problems. Okay, nonlinear problem means so we have to take ut plus uux equal to 0. This is the nonlinear equation. Okay, so this is nothing but ut plus u square by 2x equal to 0. U square by 2, if you differentiate, so 1 by 2 u square x, so 1 by 2 ux into 2. Okay, sorry, 2 ux. Okay, so 2 goes off. This is becomes ux. So this is the way. Sometimes this is written as ut plus ex equal to 0, where e is equal to u square by 2. Okay, this is the equation we will take, and we will discretize like Richtmeier, Lax-Van-Troff, McCormack, or beam-warming, and all those methods. And so once you discretize, then you have to substitute u square by 2 at in the place of e. And also that nonlinearity, how we eliminate, we will discuss in the next class, these nonlinear problems. Okay, so next class we will discuss about the nonlinear problems, and also we discuss about the damping, about damping and error analysis. Those things we will discuss in the next class. Any questions on this class?
Sir, like if we are using lower C value, shouldn't it be more accurate? Why
No,
is it being
c equal to 1 only is more accurate.
okay? Like, can you give some explanation for that? Why is it more accurate?
Uh, mm, I don't know, numerically it comes. I don't know exactly physically how it is to be explained. Okay, I will think if there is
Yes,
any.
sir. No, numerically also you can tell, sir. Like, I am not getting even that thing.
Okay, we will discuss it in the next class.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And sir, why is dispersion coming only at sharp corners? Why not anywhere else in the scheme?
No, no, no. Viscosity, where it works. Whenever there is a gradient, it tries to make it smooth. That is what the characteristic of viscosity.
Right.
Okay. So whenever there is a sharp gradient in the variable, it tries to smoothen it.
But oscillations are coming now, sir. Why are they coming? Due to the third order term, I agree. But why are they coming only at the sharp corner? That oscillations.
No, no, no. That's what I am telling. Why? What gets diffused? So if there is a variation, thermal conductivity, okay. So where the conductivity is like diffusivity only, that is thermal diffusivity. Is it right? So
Yes.
whenever there is temperature gradient is large, right, it tries to have more conduction and make it uniform everywhere, isn't it?
Correct.
So whenever there is a sharp change is there, the conductivity works there.
Yes, sir.
So that is thermal conductivity is thermal diffusivity. And similarly in momentum, whenever there is velocity gradients are large, so there the diffusivity works.
Okay, okay.
It tries to make it uniform, right? The
Diffusivity, okay, sir. But dispersion is different, no, sir. From
dispersion brings oscillations.
yes, yes.
The
That's what I was
order
asking.
derivative brings oscillations.
Hmm. Like that was the same phenomena, sir. Like due to the sharp gradient only, it's bringing oscillations at the sharp
Right.
corners.
So whenever there is a sharp gradient, it tries to make more changes in that. It brings more changes in that.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So,
So
like we are adding fourth order term to dampen out, like or for as an artificial viscosity to dampen out stuff, no, sir.
yeah.
Like, I mean, should we add second order or fourth order? Like fourth order is too less
Second
powerful.
order derivative, if there is that also we will discuss in implicit method. We are going to add second order damping and also fourth order damping. Okay, why second order damping we don't add is because second delta x whole square is a bigger term.
Yes, sir.
So I don't want to introduce more error into that.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so that's why I try to introduce fourth order derivative, which will have delta x whole square there, whole to the power 4. So delta x to the power 4 is very, very small, which is actually in truncation error. There are a lot of bigger derivatives, they are neglected, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So here I am introducing a very, very small value, which will not affect the solution.
Okay, sir. Like, sir, is it something like even order terms will give you diffusion and
Even order derivatives will give dissipation,
oh,
odd
okay.
order derivatives will give dispersion.
Okay, okay.
So the behavior is like that. Okay.
Sir, can you tell what is upwind, sir? Finally,
What is?
upwind schemes. Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, upwind scheme. See that I have to take the differencing based on the way the information propagates. Okay.
Yes.
So if there is the flow from left to right, the value at any point depends on the value ahead of it.
Yes, sir.
So if I take for derivative, if I take the point which is upwind, okay, that is upwinding scheme.
Okay.
If
If
I
the
take that point later, or if I take both the points, it will introduce error. It will not, because it will not depend on the latter point. It will depend on the upwinding point only. Upstream, upwind means upstream.
yes, sir. Like for all cases, sir, even subsonic and supersonic, this
Yeah,
works.
any case, whether it is there is convection dominating flows.
Okay.
Okay, if it is diffusion dominating, that is different. Convection dominating means flow velocity is dominating. Diffusion is having less effect.
Got it.
Viscous effects are less, but the convection effects are more. Then we have to prefer upwinding.
Basically, upwind scheme is where we use the previous values or the upstream values to actually find the derivatives or.
Yeah. So if flow is in this way, upwind, the upstream means right side will become upstream.
Yes, sir.
So then I have to take backward difference. Sorry, forward difference. If it is coming from left to right, backward difference. Right to left, forward difference.
Okay. Depending on the direction, the scheme
Yeah,
will
yeah,
change.
yeah. So which value influences this particular value at this point? So whether it is ui plus 1 is affecting or ui minus 1 is affecting this, I have to see according to
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. One final note. Like in
that.
if we take a grid,
Yeah.
but let's say we don't know the velocity direction, where the wave is coming from. Then how will we use upwind direction because we don't know the.
That's why what we have to do is in McCormack scheme like thing I can use.
Okay.
So there I need not know because it uses half time step forward difference or half time step backward difference. So anything will work, whether it is flowing in this direction or that direction. If I want to use only upwinding, I at every point I have to check the sign of the velocity and then I have to put a if condition there. If velocity is greater than 0, you take backward difference. If velocity is less than 0, you take forward difference, like that.
Sir, yes, understood.
Okay.
As you said, in convection dominant terms, we can use upwind scheme because we know the velocity is going to be in single direction mostly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Right.
it.
Yeah. Right. Okay, we will go for the story then. It is about I think all of you are familiar about Sylvester Stallone. You know about him?
Sir.
Any movies can you say?
Escape plan. With
There are so many series also he has. Okay, Expendables series and Rocky series and Rambo series. There are so many movies. Okay, so if you see his background, you can see how tough background he has. And he was born on July 6, 1946 in New York City. His father was a hairdresser and his mother was a former dancer. And his mother, Jockey, had such difficulty in childbirth that forceps had to be used to assist Sylvester's delivery. His signature sneer and his unidentifiable accent, which is actually slurred speech, were the result of the nerve damage caused by the incident. So, because he's a forceps baby, and when it is pressed on the head, actually some nerves got damaged, and that's why his speech is not. If you remember his stories and his movies, his speech is not will not be clear. And Sly, along his younger brother Frank, was raised in a hostile environment. Okay, horrible childhood he has. His parents fought a lot and later divorced. He was not shown much affection in his home either. He recalled his mother telling him that he didn't have a body he could work with. And on a separate occasion, his father even told him that he didn't even have a brain. Okay, such is the way they have seen him and treated him. And he was emotionally deprived of parents and he did not do well in school also. As a matter of fact, he was expelled from school thrice. To make matters worse, after his parents got a divorce, he was sent to several foster homes. He eventually found his way back to live with his mother. So in the foster homes also, they are not keeping him because of his intelligence and physical thing problems. And he started attending a special school for troubled children. His childhood was clearly trying for his younger Sylvester, but coming from such a difficult point in his life, he wanted to inspire people who were going through the same pains as he was. This was when he decided that he was going to be an actor. He went to Miami State University to study drama, but his desire was so overwhelming that he decided to leave school and head straight to New York. And Stallone auditioned tirelessly for casting in the city. So he has gone to auditions so many times, and he was determined that this is what he wanted to do. Even when agents denied him, telling him that the business had no place for someone with an injured face. And even when his own wife told him to get a real job, he never gave up. He had made up his mind that acting was the only thing he was meant to do. This caused Stallone to live in a small apartment without air conditioning, with a wife whom he fought with unendingly. The situation, though, did not kill his hunger for his real dream. He would go to castings and liberally work tirelessly to any role he could manage to get. He played small roles in a number of films and even got a starring role in a pornograph production. This he accepted, believing that it might lead him to a bigger role and partly just to make ends meet. This venture did not go on any further. However, it was difficult to get such small roles for Stallone, let alone get a starring role in any film. His apartment and his wife were cold and served him no comfort. He took comfort in the warmth of the city library, where he discovered his love for writing. Stallone did have a flair for storytelling, he discovered. He would stay at the library or stay at his home, making up stories and scribbling certain scenarios. And he was especially keen on inspirational stories where one overcomes an unbelievable situation like his own. For a time, he made a living selling these stories, but they were not bestsellers. And times were so difficult that Stallone even had to sell his dog just to get by. He was at his lower point, but as they say, the night is darkest before the dawn. The story of Rocky Balboa was formed in Stallone's mind when he watched a boxing match featuring the great Muhammad Ali. The underdog opponent, Chuck Wepner, managed to knock Ali out. Stallone was astounded and formed the idea of creating an underdog character which would overcome his troubles and rise to the occasion. He went home and wrote the manuscript for Rocky. In 3 days, he had a screenplay and he had the version of playing the starring role himself. He went to actor castings, still hoping to land a role in a major film, but also having the freshly written screenplay in his back pocket. And Stallone went to a casting being conducted by Robert Chatoff and Irwin Winkler. When he didn't get the role he was aiming for, he offered his manuscript. Fortunately, the team considered reviewing the script. He was quite impressed by what Stallone had written. They offered Stallone a large amount of money to buy the material. They weren't too happy, though, with the idea of him playing the leading role. And Stallone insisted that he play Rocky and wouldn't sell the script even when the offer was increased to ridiculously large amounts. His script was so great that after heaps of negotiations, everyone agreed to let Stallone play the starring role. His difficulties, however, did not end there. The movie was given a $1 million budget, barely enough to have a quality product. Stallone enlisted his family and close friends to play some roles in the movie and in the production. His wife was the set photographer, while his brother was an extra. The movie also took its toll on Stallone's body as he was not used to that kind of activity Rocky was doing. During shooting, he would feel his body almost giving up and falling to the ground. Still, he pushed and convinced himself that the outcome would be tremendous if he could hold on just a bit longer. It was in 1976 when Rocky was released to the public and Stallone cashed in on his hard labor. Although he ended up spending days in bed nursing his sore body, the low budget film sold and inspired millions around the world. It also opened an avenue for Sylvester Stallone's acting, writing, and directing career. Stallone went on to star in over 40 films and is still active today at 67. His writing skills are unmatched as he continues to come up with action packed screenplays. You can see the Expendables, Rocky, and all. He is also directing and producing high quality material. Being stubborn often has a negative connotation, but Sylvester Stallone's life struggles and his means of getting out of the rut somehow debunked this idea. He was merely being stubborn, insisting on what he wanted and taking nothing else. Yet he achieved his dream and immense success followed thereafter. He has since then been an icon in the entertainment industry. He epitomized an age-old proverb, try and try until you succeed. He has proven there is nothing impossible when hard work and determination take action. And as for his dream, he was surely he has surely inspired and continues to inspire the whole world. And he says, no one will hit you harder than life itself. It doesn't matter how hard you hit back. It's about how much you can take and keep fighting, how much you can suffer and keep moving forward. That's how you win. Every time I have failed, people had me out for the count, but I always come back. So that is the confidence and determination he has. So he has Expendable series, Rocky series, Rambo series, Copland, Cliffhanger, Fist, Assassins, Paradise Alley, Demolition Man, The Specialist, Oscar. So many movies he has, which are grand success. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, can we use finite difference schemes to capture shocks?
Yeah, yeah. It
Like,
is. That's what I was discussing about conservation form of the equations. If you use
okay.
the form of the equations, you can capture the shocks.
Mhm. Okay, okay.